A very warm welcome to one and all, and a very good evening to one and all present over here on behalf of Amity University Noida campus. I, Silki Sharma, Assistant Professor, Amity Business School, extend a very warm welcome to our patron, highly respected Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh Sir, who is our Group Vice Chancellor, Amity Universities, and Director General. Also, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests who have joined and taken out time for this wonderful session. So first of all, a very warm welcome to our invited guest, Dr. Muktesh Chander, Special Commissioner of Police, IPS retired. Our book authors, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, Digital Forensic Expert and Additional Director, Ministry of Electronics and IT. And Dr. Garima Gupta, Digital Forensic Expert. Both of our authors, Dr. Gaurav Gupta and Dr. Garima, are siblings also. Please give a huge round of applause for all of our guests who have joined us to make this evening offering knowledge and wisdom to one and all. A very warm welcome to our Vice President, Personnel and Registrar, Mr. A.K. Chaudhary, sir, Dean Management and Allied Program, Brigadier Hardeep Singh Dhani, sir, Dean Academics, Professor J.S. Jassi, sir, our Central Library Head, Dr. Rohtash Singh, and Additional Librarian, Dr. Chiranjit Lalji, Head of the Department's faculty members, and their students. Today, we have assembled here for an important event, which is being conducted under the banner of AUGN Book Club, wherein we will be having a author talk on a book written by esteemed authors, Dr. Gaurav Gupta and Dr. Garima Gupta, who have joined us today. To have this auspicious beginning of this event, it's our tradition to take the blessings of Almighty God, Ma Saraswati. Ma Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge, learning, arts, and music. To invoke the divine power, I request everyone to please close our eyes and join hands for the prayers.
Ya kundendu tusharhar dhavala, ya shubhravasravruta, ya veena varadanda vanditakara, ya shweta padmasana, या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहां हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्। या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला।
Thank you everyone for joining hands for the auspicious prayer. Before we move ahead for this virtual book author talk, let me thank our respected Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh Sir, who is Group Vice Chancellor, Amity University, for his patronage. And let me introduce you all to his profile and the milestones achieved. Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh Sir, he is holding multiple top rank positions at Amity Group. He is Vice Chairman for Global Foundation for Learning Excellence and Director General and Group Vice Chancellor of Amity Universities. He is having an extensive experience of more than 27 years in institutional building, teaching, consultancy, research, and industry. He is a renowned scholar and academician in the area of international business and holds the distinction of being the youngest founder pro vice chancellor of Amity for 2 terms. He has been instrumental in establishing various Amity campuses abroad, including London, US, Singapore, Mauritius, and many other parts of the world. And behind his numerous efforts he has put in a lot of efforts for institutional building, prestigious international conferences, study abroad programs, student exchange programs with world top class institutions of prestige. He has spoken at various international forums, which includes prestigious $1 billion roundtable conference at Harvard Business School, Thunderbird Business School, New York University, and many more. He has received more than 25 international and national awards and has graced a host of talk shows on various TV channels. He's a mesmerizing orator and has the rare ability of touching the human soul. He is internationally recognized as a known professor in the area of management and is known in the field of academics as an institution builder, a writer, a top-class trainer, IB expert, and the champion of the hearts of students. Please give a huge round of applause, and we thank him for his inspiration and the kind motivation for each one of us. Now, with a big round of applause, we welcome our esteemed guest, Dr. Muktesh Chanderji, who is Special Commissioner of Police, IPS retired. He is graduate in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Delhi University in first class with distinction. He has specialization in statistical and quality control and has done operations research from ISI Madras. In 1988, he joined IPS and has remained posted to several places, including DIG Goa and Additional Commissioner of Police, Crime, Traffic Delhi, and IG Daman and Diu. He has served as Center Director of the National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center of India. Also, he was specially selected as United Nations Police Observer and has monitored, trained, and advised police in Bosnia, Herzegovina in Europe for 1 year. Dr. Muktesh Chander also holds a law degree from DU, Diploma in Human Resource Management, Diploma in Cyber Laws from Amity Law School, and Master's degree in Criminology and Police Science. He has also earned PhD in Information Security Management from IIT Delhi, and he was awarded prestigious Chevening Cybersecurity Fellowship at Cranfield University, UK. He has been awarded President's Police Medal for Meritorious Service, President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service, Ati Utkrisht Seva Medal, Police Medal for Hard Duty, UN Service Medal with the bar, and 50th anniversary of Independence Medal. Dear audience, as you can see, he's having a very rich profile and a number of accolades to his name. He has written a number of articles also on the cybercrime and cybersecurity. Apart from that, he is holding membership of various societies. Also, he was deputed to Vietnam for training their police officers in the investigation of cybercrime. And a number of activities are there wherein he has contributed to them significantly. Dr. Muktesh also holds a license of Amateur Radio, and he's also a life member of Amateur Radio Society of India. And interestingly, during his free time, he plays on flute and mouth organ and listens to classical and semi-classical music. And he has performed regularly in various programs of Delhi Doordarshan and other musical events, and has got released 2 CDs of Bollywood songs also on flute. He is recently retired from Delhi Police as Special Commissioner Technology and Project Implementation. With such a rich profile, now with a big round of applause, we welcome our esteemed guest, Dr. Muktesh Chander, Special Commissioner of Police, to please deliver the opening remarks for the day and share his words of wisdom with all of us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone. And I'm grateful that I've been invited for this book launch program and asked to share a few words. Uh, Cyber security means different things to different people, uh, and has got different dimensions also. For a nation, it may mean something else. For organizations, it may mean something else. Uh, for the entire world, uh, it has the dimensions of cyber warfare or a cyber world war. But for common man and for small and medium business enterprises, there is a lot which needs to be done and which is very important. And cybersecurity is a multidisciplinary subject. Bringing so many aspects into one book has always been a difficult exercise. Some treat cybersecurity from technical angle and they focus more on technical aspects. Somebody will treat it as a legal issue with law in his mind. Somebody will treat it as a managerial issue with certain systems to be built into. But then there are human aspect dimension of cybersecurity. But in totality, it's a multidisciplinary subject, and bringing all of them into one book has always been a very difficult exercise. So, first of all, I'm very glad that authors with a very rich experience have come out with a book which is relevant for everyone. Number two is that cybersecurity in digital India is important for everyone, as I mentioned earlier. Therefore, no one can escape from it. It is like a road user, whether you are driving a car or a two-wheeler or you are using vehicle as a pedestrian, no one escapes from cyber, from road safety. And in the same way, cyber is a word where no one can escape from it. We have to live in a connected world. We have to have our services from cyber discipline. Our mobile itself has become a very important tool to access the entire world and the facilities and the governance and healthcare and even for a pizza delivery. Therefore, cyber security now concerns everyone, and therefore it is important that cyber safety and security is understood and those precautions are taken suitable to the individual or the organization or as per the stakes. So my congratulations to everyone connected with this function and to the authors for coming out a very nice book. And particularly I would suggest, because I did a diploma in cyber law from MIT University. It's a thing I would like to mention here, that there is a serious shortage of cybersecurity personnel in India. So introducing a subject at the graduation level, introducing masters in cybersecurity, MTech in cybersecurity or information security, as you may call it, and a multidisciplinary PhD program with a particular focus on Indian context, and also cyber security technology is emerging as a big discipline in the entire world. At the moment, we are dependent on so many tools related to cybersecurity. We are importing from outside, but this discipline is good for startups, and they may take up cybersecurity tools and technologies, cyber insurance, cyber compliance consultancy, and so many other disciplines are emerging out of it. And as and when Data Security Act is passed by Government of India, we will enter into a mandatory compliance regime where cybersecurity will become very, very important, and non-compliance will invite severe penalties. So I'm sure the focus on cybersecurity will increase. More and more organizations will be obliged to undergo a particular certification program or follow relevant laws, just like GDPR, which is prevalent in Europe. So there is a huge scope for cybersecurity in the country as well as abroad, for not only for engineers, but for lawyers, but for managers, for even humanities group, how cybersecurity behavior is important to the cybersecurity discipline. So therefore, with these words, I would like to end what I have to say, and congratulate Amrit University and also the authors and everyone associated with this organization or with this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful knowledge, rich experience with all of us, and sharing about your association with Amrit. Now, moving forward, let me introduce you all with the authors of the book, Cyber Unsafe, who have joined us to discuss more about cybersecurity, its importance, and related concerns. We welcome Dr. Gaurav Gupta at this virtual platform. Please give a huge round of applause. Before I invite first author, Dr. Gaurav Gupta, to please share the idea, thought, and motivation behind writing this book, let me introduce you all to his wonderful profile. Dr. Gaurav is digital forensic expert and additional director at Ministry of Electronics and IT. He is the first Indian to earn a doctorate in the field of digital forensic. He was bestowed with the Young Scientist Award of the India Science Congress in 2010 by the man of science, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Gaurav is on a mission to create awareness about technological frauds in society. He has been a mentor and guide to many research students and interns through his rich experience. 20 years. He's worked at KPMG and served as a faculty member at Indraprasth Institute of Information Technology. He is currently an additional director with the Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India. And he has delivered over 100 plus talks, including keynotes, and has published more than 60 technical research papers. He has been instrumental in hosting international conferences in the area of digital forensics. He serves as vice chair at the IFIP Working Group 11.9 on digital forensics of International Federation for Information Processing. As an active researcher in this field, Dr. Gaurav has developed many state-of-the-art and effective digital forensic solutions. As today's date reminds me that April 1 is celebrated as April Fool's Day across the world, and the day is celebrated by people playing pranks and practical jokes with their friends. Now, I would be requesting Dr. Gaurav Gupta to share how people can safeguard themselves and not to be befooled by the serious threats. Also, I request him to please share how this book can be useful for people who are not much aware by cyber threats and can safeguard themselves against computer frauds and cyber crimes. And I would request all the audience members by the time to please listen to this important issue and ask about the queries during the question and answer round by typing their questions or queries in the chat box while we move towards the end. So now I request Dr. Gaurav to please take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm thankful to the organizers for providing me opportunity where, I can talk about the book. And the purpose of this book is to make sure that cyber crimes which are happening, which are mushrooming and, which are spreading like a wildfire, can we do something so that technology users can be made aware to safeguard against cyber frauds? So that was the basic idea. So one day I was discussing with my younger sister about a talk which I gave where I told that, to explain a particular concept about cyber criminal activity, I told a story then she told me back that, you keep telling me stories about how criminals are doing frauds and how you are helping people in terms of avoiding fraud. You can't be everywhere. Why don't you write all these things in an interesting way so that, we may not be there everywhere, but the book can reach to more number of people and can avoid cyber crimes, which can help people, find out what are the red flags which can be leveraged to, stop cyber crime. So that was the idea, and that discussion led to the framework of the book. We started writing it last year around June, July, and within 2-3 months we had the first draft of the book ready. And then the process of publishing, which takes few months, review and editing and designing, everything happened. And we launched the book this year in October, and the book is doing well. I think it is one of the bestseller in social media and internet category on Amazon, and we have been getting good reviews. But more importantly, the idea, there is a quote in the book that the best revenge one person can take against cyber criminal is to expose their modus operandi to everybody, so that their modus operandi does not work anymore. So I'm working, and I believe in that philosophy, that if we find out all the possible methods using which cyber criminals do fraud, that will now blunt their methods. Then the users of the technology will know how they are doing frauds, because development of new solutions or new fraudulent techniques by cyber criminals will also take time. This book exposes all the prevailing techniques in one go, in few hours, 4 to 5 hours. If you spend and you read about it, you can find out, what are the ways criminals are doing fraud. And I will take you through that journey. I will share a presentation about the book. So I'm going to talk about, how we are cyber unsafe currently, and by reading this book, we can become cyber safe. That is the whole idea of the book. I will ask some of the questions. I don't know whether people can answer or not by unmuting, but I'm still going to ask it. I'm showing some websites on the screen, and I need to know which one are fine and which are risky. If you can answer by unmuting, that will help. Anyone? Do you think all of them are fine? All of them are wrong? Some of them are fine, some of them are wrong. What's your view?
It's not Yahoo.
Yahoo.com.
Okay.
Double
Yeah,
zero.
people are responding, all are wrong.
All
It's
are
a-
wrong is the wrong answer.
Exactly.
Right. The first one, ozone.ru, is a website like Flipkart of Russia. It's a shopping website. It's a genuine website. But the second one is a yahoo.com, is not a yahoo.com. It is yah00.com.
Yes.
Again, third one is not sbi.co.in, it's sb1.co.in. Again, fourth one, tricky one, it's ognz.co.in. It's not ONGC, which may look like in the first glance. Again, Google has 00 instead of O. So out of these 5, 4 are not fine. But you can guess them, they are not fine when I'm talking to you and asking you a question, when this is a topic of cyber security. But in the genuine, in a normal day-to-day life, if we get a link from one of them, it is very difficult for our eyes to differentiate whether it's O or 0 and so on. So this is how criminals do fraud, and I'll come back to it. My next question is, what makes cybercrime possible for criminals? Why cyber crimes are possible even? Who makes it possible for criminals? Is it technology? Is it people? Is it everything else? What are the primary reasons of cyber criminal to do cybercrime, and why crimes can happen? According to me, it is us cyberspace users who are unaware, who are using technology without knowing their consequences at times, who are preferring convenience over anything else. We want to do things conveniently. That's where we keep passwords which are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because complex passwords are difficult to type. So convenience factor is one of the major reasons using which criminals do fraud. And for this convenience, we are also seeing technology is getting convergent. For example, long back when I used to go on holiday in 90s and early 2000s, I used to take many devices with me. I was having a digital camera, a handy cam, a music device like a Walkman, or a digital diary, or a calculator, and so on, right? And I was carrying a lot of digital devices. But today I carry only one device, which is my smartphone, which is having all technology converged into one, which makes it more difficult for user to now know what all is going on inside the phone because it is complex, whereas it gives incentive to the criminals to hack into one device and get everything. By hacking into the mobile phone, he can get my photos, my videos, my data, my schedule, everything he can get. So convergence of technologies along with the speed of change of technology, because if technology changes fast, securing it becomes difficult. Today I'm telling people about how to secure their CDs and DVDs, and day after tomorrow they are gone, people are using USBs. Now we are trying to tell people how to secure their USBs. Soon we will have 5G technology where USBs will also be not required, data communication will be too fast. So what happens is the speed of change of technology makes it very, very difficult for security people, for forensic people to develop solutions. By the time they develop solution, technology become obsolete, new forms of crime, new forms of problems come into picture. And that's where this problem is becoming more complex, because right now we are solving existing problems. We are not solving futuristic problems, whereas criminals are working on futuristic problems. Right? On top of it, criminals are very smart. They know humans have emotions. If we all were robots, probably crime were not happening to us because we were not doing some mistakes. Since we are humans, we have optimism bias. We think nothing bad can happen to us. That's where criminals exploit our emotions. And how do they exploit our emotions? Emotions like trust. They tell they are calling from the bank. They will send us a link for payment. Since we trust them, we fall for it. They will incite our greed by saying we have won lottery. I'm sure each one of us has received emails winning lottery, inheriting property, getting free deals. They will put us in panic saying your card will be blocked, your account will be blocked, your KYC is not done. They will force us to do something in a short span of time. They will exploit our panic emotion. They also exploit fear of missing out. They will give us a deal which is too good to be true and we will fall for it. They will use disruption, like when RFID tax became mandatory or demonetization happened, wallet related fraud started to happen. So these kind of emotion exploitation is very, very common. But what happens is over a period of time, they develop new stories to exploit same emotions. Today they say they are calling from the bank. Tomorrow they will say that they have disabled a transaction which somebody was trying to do. And then they will say now somebody will call from some other department of the bank to give you a new card. So they will keep on changing stories, but underlying emotions remains the same. Hence, we need to understand, how we can find out red flags whenever emotions are being exploited by criminals. Right? So emotions remains the same, stories change. They also use AI, ML, and new technologies, new methodologies to make things happen. For example, today anything can be made synthetic. So once upon a time we used to say, "Aankho dekhi and kano suni" is the only thing which you should believe. But today I will say that "Aankho dekhi and kano suni" may also be wrong, because I can have synthetic videos. I can use machine learning and artificial intelligence to make counterfeit products, counterfeit videos. So everything in the virtual world we should take with a pinch of salt and should not believe what we see by our eyes or what we hear by our ears. Because today we have machine learning, artificial intelligence, cloud, IoT, using which people can generate synthetic data and synthetic videos, audios, images, documents, everything. Right. So when we talk about computer frauds and cybercrime, we were mostly treating symptoms rather than the root cause. Whereas what is required probably is treatment of the root cause. And that is where forensics can help. And when we talk about forensics, two important principles of forensics are cause-effect principle, which says if there is an effect, there has to be a root cause. Find that, and then only you will get evidences. And the Locard's principle, which says that every contact leaves a trace, which means you cannot do any activity without leaving traces behind, be it in digital world or be it in physical world. For example, in physical world, if let's say if I'm visiting you, if I come on campus in person, there will be my hairs which will fall, so my DNA will be there. If I touch walls, my fingerprint and these things will be there. I will have chemical of the wall on my fingertips. So I will take some information from the environment, I will give some information to the environment, and that is what Locard's principles say. And this can give, this is the basis for generating newer solutions, which means, let's say if there is a document which has been printed by a printer and I want to know which printer has printed this document, I can actually figure out a way of doing device fingerprinting, right? If I'm speaking right now, you can figure out I'm speaking from a particular microphone. Reason is my voice is being captured by the microphone, which has some defects, and those defects are coming in the voice also, which you are listening. And if you record this voice and do a digital signal processing of my voice, you can find defects specific to my microphone, which means now you can prove that I was speaking with a particular phone or a particular laptop or a particular microphone. And if I want to deny it, I cannot, because the audio received at your end will have those specific defects particular to the device which I'm using to speak. So for that matter, using Locard's principle, you can actually find out information exchange points in any device, be it a printer, be it a scanner, be it a fingerprint, be it a DNA. It works everywhere. So Locard's principle is generic, very, very reliable principle, which basically talks about that whenever two things are coming into contact of each other, they are leaving information on each other, they are exchanging something, and if you can identify and quantify this exchange, so you need to identify what is being exchanged, and you have to develop a methodology to quantify this, which will be your evidence. Right. So as I tell, criminals are most creative but extremely lazy people on earth, because they keep repeating their techniques until it becomes very known to people. We can use these things to develop solutions against them. These are the traits which will help us or digital forensic scientists to develop solutions. Now I'll give you examples of creativity of criminals. We all know people use social media, and people believe social media is fun, and we will see whether social media is fun or not. So let me ask you a question here. Like, can you tell, do you post photographs on social media? Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter? You post photographs. I believe you post photographs. Most of us use social media and post photographs. But when you are posting a photograph, not only you are posting your photograph, but you can see, or people can see, you're also posting a lot of hidden data about the photograph, metadata about photograph, which means what device you have taken this photograph, which GPS location you have taken this photograph, what is the focal length of your camera, what is the resolution of your camera, what kind of make and model your camera is. So for example, in conventional crimes, let's say if I have to do a kidnapping and I have to choose my target, and there are 10 photographs on 10 social media profiles, so I will choose the person whose photograph is on high resolution using iPhone to do a kidnapping, because I believe that person has more disposable income. A person who has a bad quality resolution phone probably doesn't have enough money to pay ransom. Right? So people are using digital information to do conventional frauds, to select, how a particular device works, how I can plan things, all the information from making a bomb to hacking account, all this information can be found out on Google, right? So conventional frauds as well as new age frauds are happening. And as I told, when you post photographs on social media, you're not only posting information about photograph, you're also posting GPS location. Now tomorrow, let's say, if you're traveling and you're posting a photograph that going for a vacation for a week and you are at the airport, which means the photograph in which you posted that you're eating home cooked food, at that GPS location, your house is empty. Criminals use this information to go to your house and do a conventional robbery. Right? So we leak information. That is the biggest problem. When we are using digital technology, there is information leakage which is happening, sometime intentionally, sometime accidentally. So when we are posting a photograph, it's an intentional leakage because we are posting ourselves. But let's say if you are using sensors on your IoT device or wearable device like bands, wearable watches, a lot of information is leaking. And this leaking information without the knowledge of user can be misused by the criminals. Right. So your phone leaks information about your sleep patterns. Your watch leaks your information about whether you're doing exercise or not, how much you walk, what is your health record. All this data can be leaked because these devices are synchronized with the servers of the service providers, and that's where some of the expert users can mine this data. So social media and devices leak a lot of information, and we must find out ways and means to curb that leakage, and that is something important. That is what I've also talked about in the book. When we talk about internet and gaming addiction, it has become real. From 10 years back, when we only had one de-addiction center in India, today we have district-wide de-addiction centers. People are hooked to these technologies because these technologies are designed to keep in mind your psychology. They know that sending out a notification sound will make you see phone. The companies, service providers want you to be hooked and spend time on screen so that they can make money through advertisements and their revenues are higher. So idea is we must know how to do a digital detox, how to curb our screen time, how not to let technology become our master. Rather, we need to control technology in order to make sure that, the misuse of digital technology can be stopped, the leakage of data can be stopped, and addiction, because these games like PUBG and other are designed in a way that you spend hours together without leaving your screen playing these games. And that is something which is really, really bad for the mental and the physical well-being of the person who is getting addicted. So before it becomes addiction, we must start de-addiction and digital detox. We must have a time where we are wasting time. Right now, what is happening is people are wasting time whole day using technology. So if I make a timetable and say, okay, every day 5 to 5:30 for half an hour, I will spend my time in terms of watching videos on TikTok and on Instagram or YouTube, but only for half an hour. That way I can limit the wastage of my time rather than wasting every day, full day, and without control. Free is something which is again becoming pandemic of a sort in digital world, because this is a technique which is being used by criminals as well as service providers to provoke your brain to release some kind of digital dopamine where you become addicted. For example, they will give you a free offer. They will give a scheme where you can buy a product, let's say iPhone, in 90% discount, and that these kind of things release some kind of dopamine to the brain, which means people are becoming addicted and they want to take and carry out transactions without thinking, and they are losing money. And I will take these examples going forward in detail. When I was talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning kind of technologies, deepfake is something which is becoming very, very popular and very easy to do because of very cheap computing power which is available. So deepfake technologies are being used to do a lot of fraudulent activities, and let me show you through an example. I will share my browser so that I can demonstrate some of the things which I want to demonstrate you. So here, let's see, I go to this website. I hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not now, sir. Earlier we were able to, not now.
Yeah. So can you see it now?
Yes, we can
So
see
this
now.
is a website. Website name is thispersondoesnotexist.com. If you see here, if I refresh it, it will show you a face of a person who does not exist in this world. This is an artificial synthetic face generated using data only. So if you see on the right corner here, it says imagine by GAN, generative adversarial network. It is a technique of artificial intelligence where machine learns how human faces look like, and now this program is generating random faces, synthetic faces of the people who do not exist on Earth. Right, so I can keep on refreshing and I can keep on getting faces which are non-existent in this world. Now what I can do is I can download this photograph, give it a name, and I can make a fake profile on Facebook and send you a friend request. So if in real world, if you investigate, you will never find this person because this does not exist in this world. So using these kind of artificial intelligence, deep fake images, audios and videos and documents and news all can be manufactured. All these things which are being manufactured are being misused to either lure you to a wrong website, or to do a fraudulent activity, or to waste your time where you are being hooked onto the screen. So idea is that deep learning technologies are being used to do frauds against which common, normal, conventional investigation methods don't work. So this is an active area of research where people can develop newer solutions to detect deepfakes, and that is what I want to highlight. Now let me go back to the presentation. Fine. So what happens is, so this is something which requires newer solutions. I will move forward. Social media has brought distance people closer, right? Some people whom we don't know, who we lost 10, 20 years back, we can find them on social media. But the other aspect is we are talking to even people who are staying next door on social media rather than meeting them in person. Again, this is something very important to highlight here is that not meeting people in person makes your mental and physical well-being and take it, it causes depression and other mental health issues. So the idea is we should use social media, but in a limited manner, and wherever possible, we should meet people in person, right? So idea of today's talk is to change your perspective. And how can we do that? Let me tell, can you please tell me what can you see on screen? What can you see on screen? It's a puzzle or a block?
Nothing, just, yeah, black blocks.
Black blocks, okay. Anyone else? What is the views of other participants? You can't figure out, right? It is because you don't know what you have to look for. See, if I tell you what you have to look for, most people will be able to find out what I want you to find out, right? So the perspective, same is the case with the cyber crimes. Now let me help you. So if I put lines, can you see things? This becomes L. This is white I. This is F in white color. This is T. Can you see that? Can you see lift?
Yes, yes.
You were not able to see lift when the lines were not there, right? But if now lines are not there, can you see lift now? Even though I have removed lines, can you see lift? Can you put the imaginary line in your mind and see LIFT? Can you see lift? Yes, no?
Yes, we can
Yes.
see now.
Right. So even if the lines are removed, you can put imaginary lines and see lift, right? Same. So what I am saying is we need to now operate our perspective about cybercrime, that if we know how cyber criminal activities has been done by criminals against somebody, if I tell you all those stories, you will never fall in the trap of cyber criminals, because whenever they try to do same crime against you, you will know their story, and that will safeguard you. That will become a red flag for you that, okay, if you're trying to do this, now you will ask me this question, and that is how you will do a fraud. And I will give you examples. So this is the book, which I'm sure everybody knows now. I will post the link in the chat. Okay, can somebody read it for me fast and loud? Important to notice, read it fast. Can you read it for me, ma'am?
Yes,
I couldn't
believe
believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. Using the incredible power of the human mind. And so
according to research at Cambridge University, it does not matter in what order the interest in
Letters.
word are. Yes.
If you read it fast, you will do fine.
The only important thing is that the first and the is at letter, yes, be in the right place. The rest can be
Total.
yes, total mess, and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind does not read every
Letter.
yes, letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Amazing. Whoa. Yeah, I always thought sleeping was important.
Spelling was important.
Yes, spelling was important. Yes.
See, if you read it fast and loud, you can read everything. Whereas this is completely jumbled, random, grammatically as well as spelling wise incorrect. Reason is human mind, as they rightly pointed out, skips a lot of information when it becomes expert in a particular activity. Since you are expert in reading, you don't read everything in detail. Similarly, so if I give you a ONGC instead of OGNC, that thing will slip because your mind will ignore some of the facts. And that is where crimes happens. Criminals know these tricks. They exploit your intelligence against you. And that is where cyber crimes are happening. So the idea is, if you become aware about their methodologies, this will work as a red flag, right? I'm skipping few of the things and coming back to the most important part. Social media, as I told, is fun. Most people think it is fun, but it depends according to me. If you post photographs, let's say if I'm posting a photograph that 1 year back I went to Andaman, then it's fine. Nobody can misuse it. But if I post that I'm going to Andaman, which means my home is empty for robbery. So you must know what to reveal, how much to reveal. And if I'm posting a photograph, I'm using a tool to remove EXIF data. EXIF data is something which is data about my photographs, because that can be misused, where the photograph was taken, what camera has been used to take photograph. That information should be removed before you post the information online, so that cannot be misused. Yes, social media is fun, but it depends, because if you don't take enough care while posting information, it can be misused, right? You know what you were doing 1 year back at the same time? Can you tell me? Can anybody tell me what you were doing exactly 1 year back, same time?
No.
Difficult, right? You can't remember that much. So what happens is, but Google knows everything. So if you were traveling and you had your phone with you because you're logged into Google, Google knows, Google timeline records with GPS location where you are at today's time. If you go to this website, takeout.google.com, you can find out what all you have done in past, and all this information is available there on that particular login of yours. Now, it is typically 5 to 10 GB of data per user. That means that much data about you is captured by Google, and same things, are captured by Facebook, Twitter, and any other social media or any service provider which you are using. They all store data about your activities. Now it has potential for misuse. For example, let's say if I get your phone, let's say if I steal your phone, right? Let's say you're driving and I take up your phone when you are having Google Maps on because it is not locked. I can now go to your Google and go to takeout.google.com and download 5 to 10 GB data of yours. And now I know complete history of yours, what you have done in last 5 years, right? So what should you do? You should go to takeout.google.com every month, every 3 months, make a timeline like you take backups. Take backup of this data and delete it from the website. Reason is, if it is not there, if somebody compromises your account tomorrow, he will not be able to take out and know your history. And we don't do it, right? So the idea is download this data offline and delete it from online so that you can safeguard it, so that nobody else can misuse it. And you will also be astonished and freaked out by seeing what all it has captured, all the searches which you have made, all places you have gone, all mails you have written, all profiles you have visited, everything it is capturing. It is capturing just too much of data, personal data about us. So something important which I thought I'll highlight. Right? People think they can be trained for investigation. Answer is they can be only if they are having a relevant background. You need to be knowing things. Bootstrapping is required, which means you need to do your courses, undergrad course or master course or whichever courses, and then do specialization, some kind of certification. So if you do that and if you remain updated, you constantly read about the latest research in digital forensics and cybercrime investigation, yes, you can become a cyber forensic investigator, which is in huge demand today because there are not, demand is huge and there is a demand supply gap, and people are not there who knows the tricks of the trade, who are experienced in digital forensics, and that is something which needs to be done. And I think this is an area which is a lucrative area of research as well as for job opportunities. Right, this I will skip. This is important. People think press delete and data is gone, or press shift delete, or let's assume let's format and overwrite, or repartition, or break open the CD or DVD. You do whatever you want to do, data is not gone. Data follows Gita ka Gyan like of thing that, it remains once created always. It changes form. You can delete data, it becomes deleted data, but you can use tools to recover data, right? Data is always there. Recovery of this data depends on capability of the person. Let's say if you have to recover, you will say no. If you ask me, any data needs to be recovered, I can always recover it, right? It depends only on the capability, knowledge, skills, and resources. I can recover, but let's say if you give me a partly melted hard drive, I will require $100 million to get it back. So it depends on various factors, but in most cases, most of the data can be recovered. And as I was discussing just before the talk with some of the colleagues, that if you give your phone as a second-hand phone, even after doing a factory reset, in 95% cases, data can be recovered from the phone. And since the phone contains a lot of sensitive data, your photos, videos, personal photos, credit card photos, username, chats, all that can be recovered and can be misused. So what should you do? Do not give your phone as a second-hand phone. Do not sell it and keep it in a waste form at home as a paperweight. No. You install, there are free software which you can install which can convert your phone to a CCTV camera, and you can connect your phone to your home Wi-Fi and can put into a permanent power source, and it will become a CCTV camera free of cost at your home. A better quality CCTV camera. Reason is, in the CCTVs which you get in the market are poor quality, right? So there are always easier solutions. Only thing is we need to look for these kind of things. So a piece of advice to people that, never create a piece of electronic data, because we create a lot of data like video, audio, text, which if we want that they should not come out even after deleting or formatting, they will come out. Right? You might have seen in some of the celebrity cases, a lot, 5-year-old WhatsApp data was recovered, right? Last year in some of the famous cases. So data once created remains forever. If you don't want it to come back and haunt you, do not create in the first place itself. If you create it, it will be recovered. It can be identified and recovered using tools and technology by somebody and can be misused against you. Especially the young ones, you should be very careful when you are capturing private data and photos. Once captured, they always remain in the devices. This I'm skipping. This is not important. This is important. People think criminals are techo geeks. Answer is no. Anybody can be a cyber criminal. Rather, a person who knows more about cyber crimes will be reluctant to do crimes because he knows he can be caught. Let's say if you're attending my talk, data can be recovered. That means you will be now scared that if you threaten somebody on chat and delete it, it can be recovered. So people who know more about cyber crime, they will be more reluctant to do crime. Rather, people who are not tech geeks, who are normal users, who can download things and who dare to do frauds will do frauds. Right? Let me give you an example of design flaw. Let's say, this is a screenshot of Google in 2009. This is a Gmail landing page in 2009. If you see here, I went to this link saying I cannot access my account. I went to this place saying I forgot my password. And I wrote a email ID here, let's say Gupta.Gaurav or whichever ID I want to recover. It could be any ID. It could be your ID. I'm assuming everybody has a Gmail ID. If I put any email ID here in 2009, mind it, this does not work anymore today. It used to work once upon a time when phones were not added into your Gmail accounts because many people were not having phones at that point of time. So if you submit here in 2009, it will take you to a secret question, which was not the case with Yahoo, Reddit and other service providers because they were asking your PIN code, date of birth, something else. But Google was not asking. And phone number was also not linked. Secondary email IDs also were not linked at that point of time.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you can guess the answer correctly,
Hello.
It was easy to guess because if you ask what is the favorite color of a person, you start guessing pink, white, blue, green. One color will match and it will take you to a page where you can reset the password. Once you can reset the password, you can log out that person permanently from their account. What should you do? Solution to this problem is whenever you are choosing answer to a secret question, do not give answer which is related to the question. For example, if I have a secret question as favorite color, my answer will be biscuit. Biscuit is never a color, you can't correlate. So give some random answer which you can remember, but nobody can guess. Right? People think identity thefts are common. Yes, they are common. Once upon a time, people used to do skimming. Today, what they are doing is they are recording videos of your credit card and debit cards because they can now do international transactions. They make fake profiles. They make counterfeit documents. They do innovative ways of fraud using like NFC based frauds, near field communication based frauds. Car keys. This is something interesting. Today we have cars which have the remotes, which if they are there in your pocket, the door opens automatically if you are near to the door, right? You don't even have to press a button. Now what criminal does, let's say if you are having a modern day car which is around 20 lakh and more, and you have a remote in which you don't have to press the button to open the car. So what I will do is when you are going home after parking car, I will tell you and find out what is your home. What you will do, you will go home and put your car into your key holder, which is typically near to the door. Now what will happen is these two people one will stand near to your car and one will come to your home with a receiver walkie-talkie kind of device in which one will receive signal, another will transmit the signal. So the transmitter person will come to your home door after 5 minutes and look for the signal using this device. So if your car key fob is at the key holder and near the door, and if it can transmit signal and I can capture using this device, I can relay it to the other person who is standing near to your car. So now I can open your car keys without your remote, and I can actually start your car using this technique and can steal the car. Solution is do not put your car keys in the key holder near to the main door because they have very small communication radius. If you put the car key holder into the center of your house, problem is solved. Right? So again, criminals play with your emotions. They play with your mind. They know what you will do and accordingly design their own techniques. So you can foil their techniques by changing the design, by doing something which they don't expect you to do. And that is the easiest way to stop frauds. Right. So, internet and online gaming addiction is becoming real. People are spending a lot of time on games. And as I told, young children's age 10 to 15 especially are addicted to online games. PUBG was blocked by Ministry of Electronics and IT because of the same reason. People are surfing Facebook for 2 to 10 hours. Youngsters are making videos and taking dangerous videos at times to impress people at a dangerous location, which can lead to accidents in the physical world. So, these things are happening. Parents, we have received complaints from parents and infants and young children that, they're spending time only on screen. It is leading to their mental and physical well-being getting impacted. So this is something real, and we need to, as a stakeholder, we need to work on them. We need to help people do things in the physical world rather than staying only on the virtual world. Right. So in today's world, survival of the most aware is the mantra. If you're not aware about the methodologies used by criminals to do fraud, they will do frauds. Right. So the idea is, if we know and read about these things from newspaper, from books, from various other sources, we have awareness campaigns launched by RBI and Government of India. All this says that if you know about how the crimes are being done, you can stop those crimes from happening. So that is something important. UPI-based frauds are increasing. People send you QR codes to tell them that, you scan it and you will receive money, which is a fake thing. Because for receiving money, you don't have to scan anything. We need to know that. And we can actually develop technological solution around these things. They change one letter, like PM Care or PM Cares. One S was extra. And that led to a lot of money going to a wrong account through UPI frauds. Free I park initially, free is always bad, actually. It is true. When we talk about free, something known as free Wi-Fi. If you have using free Wi-Fi in the era of 4G, I think I will say that you are not wise enough, because today we have so good quality internet available through data on 4G that you need not use any free Wi-Fi. If you're using any free Wi-Fi, you're leaking information. Your data is going unencrypted and people can snoop on you, what you are doing, what activity you are doing, what you are typing, what is your username, password, and everything. So the idea is never connect to a network which is free. And if you all have to connect to a network which is free, do not do anything which you don't want to leak. For example, logging on to a banking server or a banking website or a Gmail or a mail server, because this data is, subjected to it will not be encrypted and people can easily snoop on it. Juice jacking is something interesting where, somebody exploits your phone when you connect it for charging in the public place. What can they do? They can steal your data. They can install some viruses or ransomware. So the simple solution to this problem is, do not charge your phone using public cables which are there in the malls and the airports. Rather, charge your power bank. And if you don't have a power bank, charge your phone in a switch off mode. Right? We get a lot of USBs free at times lying around in the parking lot or in some conferences. So any USB which you are not buying and you are getting it for free, high chances are there that they will have some malwares, some ransomwares, some malicious software which can actually extract your data. It will have a keylogger, it will log your keys, and so on. So the idea is, anything coming for free, high chances are they are going to misuse this free device or technique to steal your data, to do fraud against you, and we must avoid that. Hardware keyloggers, they are very difficult to detect. Let me ask you, how many of you have seen the backside of your CPU where the keyboard is connected in last 1 year? Answer probably is nobody. No. So what can happen is, let's say if I come to meet you in person, what I will do is, let's say I came to meet you in your office and you went out for a minute. What I will do is, I will take a small pen drive kind of device, which I will connect in the wire of your keyboard here, and then connect this wire to your keyboard port at the back of your CPU. Now, whatever you will type through this keyboard will be logged by that small device, pen drive kind of device, and using your internet, that data will be mailed to me. Right? So hardware keyloggers can't be detected by antivirus software or any other software. It can only be detected manually by physical inspection. So we must be very careful. We must find, this is like a bug which people install to snoop around, right? So there are very interesting ways people do frauds. So that's where I tell that, prevention is better than cure is also applicable in digital world. If we take enough precautions, if we do things which are right to avoid frauds, then we can avoid frauds. If you become little tough nut to crack, criminals will not go after you because there are so many other people who are very easy to do fraud against. Right? And that's where this book is useful. It lists down all the modus operandi of how cyber criminals do fraud, how to avoid them, and then it also tells you how to develop new solutions. Some of the problem statement mentioned in the book requires technical solutions which are being developed. I'm also working on some of them. So if people want to, do something in the area of cybercrime, I can help in terms of mentorship. I can help in terms of selecting project ideas or research proposals or a PhD thesis idea or internship. So I would be happy to do that. If you come through your faculty members, I would be happy to help on that part also. So idea is, if you happen to, read this book, you get ideas, you can work on those ideas. These are also some of the good resources where you can get a lot of technological information and information related to research and research related solutions in the world of digital and cyber forensics. Right. So once upon a time, it used to be the case that if you were wealthy, you were more immune to the crime because there were people to protect you. You could pay people who could protect you. But today, if you are wealthy, you will have more digital devices. You will have more technological interfaces, which means criminal will have more opportunity to reach out to you, to do fraud against you virtually without coming to you. And hence cybercrime has tipped that, the same phenomena the other way around in today's internet era, that more wealthier you are, more chances that you will be subjected to a cybercrime. Right, I encourage you to buy the book, read it, give me reviews, and if you get any ideas from the book and you want to work on a technical solution, I would be happy to mentor you and work with you. I'm open to questions because I thought let's also discuss some of the questions, and I will try to help you in terms of real world problem statement which you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gaurav, for sharing this wonderful knowledge and thoughts with all of us, which you have mentioned and compiled in the form of a book also. We regret that Dr. Garima could not join us. So let us take some questions from the students who have asked. One student has asked question that I would like to know the legal standing of someone who hacks someone's phone or discreetly takes photographs without the consent of the person. Is he liable for some legal action against him?
Yes. So what happens is, IT Act has provisions under Section 66 B to Section 66F. There are various provisions for these kind of things. If somebody is taking photographs, private photographs, and non-consensual photographs, all that can be covered under the various sections of IT Act, and there are provisions. Also, there are provisions in IPC, for crime against women, especially. And there is a portal, cybercrime.gov.in, where you can go and report cyber crimes of any kind without going to police station.
Okay, thank you. Now taking the question from one more student. With your vast experience, you definitely know which are the mistakes that generally youngsters do without knowing where they may be breaching the code of conduct in cybersecurity domain.
So as I told you, ignorance of law is not an excuse. If you don't know law and you do something wrong, you will be prosecuted and if reported. And it's like, in schools, people do cyberbullying and they don't do it they don't know that this is a criminal offense, but it is. So it's better to know your law. IT Act has only some provisions or some sections which are very easy to understand, especially Section 43, Section 66, 67, 79, and 69. That's all you need to read to make yourself aware about prevailing laws in the country. Right. Also, one piece of advice is, if you think something is wrong, actually it is wrong. Don't do it. Whenever you're doing an activity, if it is going to cause any harm to anyone, it is actually going to be illegal. Even if it is not covered in law, it is still not right. So I'm sure most of the time we know when we are doing an activity whether it is going to harm somebody or not. And if you have any iota of doubt that it is going to harm, please don't do it, because the punishment is severe. And in this digital world, everything you do is logged and tracked, which means if somebody does investigation, you will be prosecuted and you will be behind the bars.
All right, thank you. Taking another question from Jasveer Jakhar, who has also asked, and also I'm combining the question, that just read the news today. that never share the OTP. Still, my account got hacked and I lost a lot of money. Please tell, how does it happen and how can we safeguard against it?
So what happens is, let's say if you give me your credit card photograph from front and back, which let's say if you're paying at a petrol pump, which somebody can, when you are paying at any point of time, somebody may have a camera in a video recording mode and it can capture front and back of your card. Now what happens is OTP is mandatory to do transaction in India, not in America. So I can go to a website in America like bestbuy.com and can buy a laptop using your card, which I have captured using phone in a video mode from both front and back, and can buy whatever I want to buy without requiring an OTP. So what you should do is, you should first of all delete 3-digit CVV number from back of your card, so that even if somebody records the copy of your card through camera, it can't use your card because CVV is not there. Second is, go to net banking of your card or bank, disable international transaction. Even if somebody has captured everything, since you have disabled international transactions, nothing can go wrong. So thing is, we need to safeguard by knowing what all can go wrong and plan accordingly. That can save us from the frauds.
All right, taking one more question, last question for the day. What is eSIM and how it plays cookies role?
So what happens is, see, technologically things are going towards convenience. People want convenience. So electronic SIM is a programmable SIM which can be programmed into a device through some settings. And again, if you do not follow the right steps, let's say somebody requests to replicate your eSIM and you say yes, and it might be in a disguised message. And if you agree and you click on something which you are not supposed to click, your SIM swap kind of process will be initiated, your SIM will be blocked, and the same SIM will be issued to someone else. And that is how eSIM or SIM swap related frauds are happening. Idea is, whatever you are going to do in digital world, read it properly, understand. If you have not requested for something, do not do it, report it. If you have any doubt, back out. That is the only way you can safeguard yourself in the digital world.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Gaurav, for answering all the questions.
I have posted the LinkedIn link as well as the book link in the chat. Please feel free to connect to me. I keep on posting relevant information through LinkedIn. And if anybody is interested to do something in this area, I would be happy to help.
Yes, for the information of audience, we can see the link of LinkedIn that Mr. Gaurav Gupta has given. And secondly, the book, if you want to buy the book, so Amazon link has been shared, Unsafe Handbook Preventing Computer Frauds. So thank you so much, Gaurav. Definitely, we are going to share it with our students as well, so that they can refer it in case they need it in future. So thank you so much for this wonderfully informative session on such a vital topic. We do not wish to. However, due to time constraints, we come towards the closure of session. And to have the wonderful closure, we request our esteemed leader, who is presently working with us as Vice President Personnel and Registrar, Mr. A.K. Chaudhary, sir, to please deliver a vote of thanks. I request you, sir. A.K. Chaudhary, sir. Over to you, sir, please.
Good evening. Actually, if I say there is one word is the fantastic, that will suffice this particular lecture. No doubt that people do understand this subject is very complicated. Even if you are in the way you don't want to be cheated by anyone, but without your intention, somebody can cheat you. Now the question comes that if you know the subject to the extent what has been spoken today, what has been mentioned today, one thing is very important, that data to be kept safe. If you cannot keep the data safe, somebody will just take it out from your system and can use or can misuse. So this is very, very important, that can misuse. And you know and you don't know. It's a very different situation. Normally, the people understand that if somebody has taken out something from me, I should understand. But this subject is so complicated that people will take it, but we don't understand. This is a very, very basic problem. But sir, Dr. Gaurav has mentioned very clearly, has given a lot of inputs. It is if we can understand some of the inputs, that will be great help to us, and we can save ourselves, we can keep ourselves safe from such kind of theft, which is always happening, or normally it is happening in the situation. So, sir, we are very thankful to you for your giving excellent lecture and also sparing your valuable time with us, answering the questions of the students. That was actually excellent. I, on my behalf, on behalf of Honorable Respected Founder President Sir, on behalf of Honorable Respected Chancellor Sir, on behalf of Honorable our Group Vice Chancellor Sir, we express our sincere thanks to you and wish that this is a online. I don't think that now we should be in online. If you can spare your time, we can have offline lecture also.
Sure, sir.
So people
I will be
understand
looking forward
more.
for the same.
Yeah. So I would request Dr. Chiranjilal and Dr. Rohtas Singh ji to organize offline lecture, because many of the things we want to understand in this system, in the processes, is very easy if you are offline. Online is somewhere, even if you want to concentrate, but you can't concentrate. This is the very basic difference. So I would request that if you can spare your time,
Sure, sir.
and you will have a classroom lecture. Student will be more closer to you, and our faculty and staff, they will be able to understand and may be able to ask a number of questions. I also express my sincere thanks to Dr. Rohtas Singh ji and Dr. Chiranjilal ji, because from the day they have made this book club, now book club is doing excellent job. We are getting number of good people on this platform, and if I am very correct, we have met with number of personalities who were rare on the ground floor, because they are not available because of busy schedule. I know that Dr. Gaurav is not so easily available if you want him in offline, but I also request you that if you can make yourself available, it will be an excellent opportunity for us.
Sure.
And I thank both the Dr. Chiranjilal and Dr. Rohtas Singh ji for doing excellent job through this book club. I express my sincere gratitude and thanks to Madam Silki Sharma ji, who is actually conducting this program. In fact, if I say that there are three people who are actually protecting the developing and nourishing the book club, these are the three people. They have been made this book club very active, and they will be always remembered for their efforts. Nothing, I should say that the people who are here today in this talk is our faculty, our students, our staff, Without them, it is not possible to have such a grand function. We thank to each all of you for sparing your time, being with us, and making this our talk very successful. I do not know if I forgot somebody.
Sir, may I say something, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, we were also joined by Dr. Muktesh Chander, sir. He was Special Commissioner, Delhi Police. So he had left, I guess, because he was in a meeting. He was, on a tour to some place, but he was also there. He had also given, inputs.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So we are also thankful to him, sir.
Yeah, we are thankful to Dr. Mukesh.
Yes, Chandra, sir.
And as Dr. Chenjilal mentioned, that we have received some inputs from him. So we are sincerely grateful to Dr. Mukesh sir. Actually, my only submission that the talk which was by Dr. Gaurav, if you start from where it has started and where we are here today, how many things we have learned, it is an excellent work. But I only request that if you can get Dr. Mukesh, Dr. Gaurav in the campus for offline lecture, it will be a great achievement. So please organize offline lecture through book club, because now we are open. We have no issue. The students are coming in the campus. So let us have a lecture series in the classroom. That will be very, very effective. And you, both of you, are doing excellent job. So let us do something more, because so far we are always online. Make it offline. My only suggestion is. With these words, I express sincere thanks and gratitude. And we are very much blessed with the Almighty that we are always getting some good people all the times, and hope that this book club will continuously do the excellent job. So with these words, I thank each and everyone. May God bless them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, to you also, that you are not feeling well, and instead of that, you have, been there all the time, and you were, there with the, supporting us all the time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chenjilal.
Well,
Thank you so much to our special invited guest, Dr. Mukesh Chandraji, both the book authors that have joined us, Dr. Gaurav Gupta and Dr. Garima Gupta, Mr. A.K. Chaudhary, sir, Vice President, Personal and Registrar, Brigadier Hadeep Singh Dhani, sir, Dean Management and Allied, Professor Justice, sir, Dean Academics, all the head of the departments, and our library heads, Mr. Rohtash ji and Mr. Chiranjilal ji, for organizing this event so wonderfully, and all the faculty members and the students who joined us and making this event a huge success. Thank you so much.
But people don't know that who all are three actually supporting the book club. So 2 is the Dr. Chiranjilal, Dr. Rohtash, and Ms. Silki Sharma. Actually,
with all your blessings, sir. Thank you so much.
with all your blessings.
All the times she is available to support this book.
Well, Dr. Gaurav, congratulations to you for this wonderful work, and also convey the regards to Dr. Garima Gupta as well. Please.
Yeah.
So the idea is, I would request you to help me spread the word about book to your students, to faculties, because this can really help them, not only safeguard against cybercrime, but to find out, new methods where they can do research, they can take projects. This is, from that angle also, this is a good thing. Probably you can have in your library more copies, and you can help people read through it.
Yes, through this point, I got to recall one point, that if you can share some case studies wherein the people have, been a victim of the frauds.
So it is there,
and,
ma'am. I think it's there in the book. If you happen to
Okay.
see the book, it is basically case studies only.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I think Mr. Rotash would be sharing that with all of the faculties. Thank you so much.
We have got books. We have got books with us, ma'am.
Okay.
So please
Great, sir.
ask a student to be in the library.
We have one copy, Dr. Gupta, with
Dr.
us.
Singh
That
is
is
carrying
in the
this
library right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
great.
Maybe now what you can do is you can spread the link so that people who want to buy, students, you
Yes.
can send a mail or something,
Yes.
right? So that will help people
Surely.
know about it.
Yes.
Yes. Sure,
Okay,
sure.
great.
Thank you
so much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everyone.